Hey folks, I am still playing some Path of Exile 2 because I am a glutton for punishment and I have now hit maps, and I am mostly recording this just to kind of show what I've been experiencing in maps and how they don't feel super great, but mostly they just feel super unrewarding. And I get it, I'm only running a tier 1 Waystone, but the very first map I ran had like a single rare that dropped. So I am jumping on packs and then bone shattering them, moving my way across, and it's kind of slow. And I've reached a point where I'm pretty sturdy. And this, for the most part, works. And honestly, like, feels better than it did last league, early, for my ability to kill things. But I feel like probably the charge functionality was a little bit better with Stampede. I don't know. I don't think this is... I think this is probably even faster than Grinding Gear Games intends for this gameplay to be. But God, after going back to Frisia, this game just feels so sluggish. And what doesn't help is like how much negative movement speed you end up having with everything. I still kind of hate the Boneshatter still has a mind of its own and will randomly target things that you're not pointing towards. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, so this is pretty much life. You gotta hop your way around a map, and eventually you kill all the rares. I mean, it will be much better once all the rares are marked on the map. That's a positive change, but also, like, I don't know, like, there's a whole discussion about maps being too big. I don't know that the maps themselves are too big. It's just we're too slow. Because we're used to moving much faster during these maps. And I kind of feel like I'm just plodding along. It doesn't help that I'm using a pair of unique boots, and I should probably drop them. I was using trample toes still, because even in their post-nerf state, they're pretty decent because they added like an additional pop to what you're doing. Oh look, an Exile. And honestly, like, I haven't been having that many problems with Exiles. Like, that one pretty much evaporated. But then again, like, the state of Warrior is disturbingly better than a lot of the state of other characters. So, I mean, I'm also extremely tanky, which took me a long time to get to. I have a not insignificant amount of life and 40%-ish block and over 75 for all my resistances. Quite a bit of regen. I've switched to blood magic, so I don't need to care about mana issues anymore. Okay, so I've missed rares in multiple places that I've already passed through. So that's fun. Let's go up here and get this rare, and then we'll backtrack to the one that I missed way down there. Again, this is what makes this objective feel so bad, is just that you always end up backtracking through it. So once we can actually see them on the map, it won't be so bad. And not having any real movement ability, like Leap Slam technically is a movement ability, but not in the way that PoE 1 movement abilities were. Okay, so that wasn't it. Where else am I missing a rare? Okay, way down there. And so just down there. And surely it won't be as simple as just being able to pass straight down. I had to drop a bunch of my AoE nodes so that I could path over to get blood magic, because I wanted to upgrade my weapon and I didn't want to have to get mana leech on my weapon. So that was ultimately how I was surviving doing content, was running mana leech on stuff. Okay, so go back to my hideout and talk about my build a little bit. It's pretty much the most generic Boneshatter build out there. So right now I only have 2 ascendancy points, or 2 ascendancies, so I am getting the modifiers for fire resistance, also affect cold and lightning, and also normal body armor, and doing 5% max life regen and 75% fire resist. My goal at some point is to no longer need to use this and swap out of that, and then very similar pathing structure, going over and getting the skill speed nodes and the attack speed nodes, and then picking up area wherever you can get it. Might pick up the rest of this little area, getting some fire nodes up here, Giant's Blood, blood magic. I haven't gotten any good jewel sockets or jewels, so basically, like, I'm just running with whatever is even vaguely workable. picked up the maximum fire resist node, which at some point will be useful whenever I pick up Forged in Flame. As far as abilities, I just didn't realize that Maze Strike had upgraded, so I need to socket in another jewel. Hammer of the Gods with Fist of War, Aftershock, Hourglass, Boneshatter with Overpower and Impact Shockwave, Premeditation and Tireless on Infernal Cry, Perfect Strike, Eternal Flame, Window of Opportunity, Primal Armament, and then Leap Slam, which is what is doing all the heavy lifting, is Martial Tempo, Holy Descent, and Brink. Brink is important because it keeps from popping the things until I land so that I can do a Bone Shatter and get a bigger pop. I think at some point I will not need to do that, where my Leap Slam will just clear the entire pack 100% of the time. And then it's just me leap slamming through the map. Herald of Ash, Overwhelming Presence, and I'm running Cannibalism and Vitality just to boost some additional regen. 85 Fire, 76 and 76 for Lightning Cold. My Chaos is super low, so at some point I need to pick that up. Block is 40%. Hopefully at some point I'll buff that through the tree. I also want a recoup on Block Shield, which will help a lot. 1849 max life, 136 regen, 4,000 armor. So that's pretty decent. Yeah, so that's it. That is the state of my build. It feels pretty comfortable. I've only run tier 1 maps because I literally just got to maps last night. But Lord, do they feel unrewarding. This is, so this is a quality item. This is a socket item that I picked up. So I got 1, 2 rares, and I only picked these up because jewelry are oftentimes worth picking up. But a lot of this came off of that one Rogue Exile, and then, that's it. No exalts, only some bubblegum currency, some uncut skill gems that I don't really need. Let's see. I'm running a very crappy Inferno clasp because it was cheap. And at some point I either want to get a +5 or hopefully a +6 that's well rolled, for max res. And then I'm still running Trample Toes, but I think at some point I'll probably drop that, because I don't know that it's really giving me enough to make it worthwhile. And then I've got a pair of gloves to swap to at some point, but I have to get to level 70 first. And then this is what I'm running for my white armor chest piece. So some life, some armor. I got a corrupt on it for 21% increased armor. So at some point I'll replace this for an even chonkier white chest. Did pick up a new helm, which is pretty solid. Some strength, some fire resist, a lot of life, and some armor. Shield needs to be replaced, but it's working. Anyway, that's the state of my build. I am progressing slower than I would normally in a Path of Exile League, but it is what it is. I am lucky that I am as functional as I am. Anyway, hopefully we get a big patch this week, and I saw some notes for it. Hopefully it makes things feel better, but after the Zizaran interview, I have questions about the fundamental vision for this game and as to whether or not it aligns with what I want out of an ARPG. Anyway, really looking forward to Last Epoch's Season 2 next week, and at that point I am going to stop giving a shit about Path of Exile 2 in the least. Anyway, hopefully if you've made it this far, you got some mild entertainment out of this, and I will see you next time I record one of these dumb things. Bye.